Okay. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Today is Saturday, September the 23rd. This is an impromptu, however you pronounce that in English. Because what I wanted to do is that a lot of people have confusion about how this all ties together and how you actually make money from send that cards, the 100 days to 100,000, and then daily pay altogether. So Jordan is going to be helping me so that you can get all the ins and outs about send that cards and the company promptings and that how that makes sense to you. And then afterwards, we're going to answer questions. But first, before I say anything else, and before I give the floor over to Jordan, I want to say thank you, because each one of you are taking time out of your busy schedule, out of your Saturday, and I just want to acknowledge you, because if you're here, that means that you are open to be open. So all I ask of you today is that you be open, because whether this is for you or not, this might be something that you're showing up here because you need to share it with someone else. So just pay close attention. We're listening to someone who is a very wildly successful, not just as a one-time person, but wildly successful for ongoing years, and not only one time, but several times. So with that, Jordan, rather than me explaining everything about you, I'd rather give you the floor and you can take over.
Great. And thank you, Maria. And thanks again for taking a few minutes in your afternoon to be with us. First of all, I just want to just kind of lay the groundwork for the next few minutes. And then what we're going to do is, like Maria says, we'll open it up and see if you have any questions. If there's anything that you want me to cover that I haven't covered, or if there's something you don't understand that you want me to go in deeper on, we can do that. But people right now, and you guys will all relate to this, everyone here should relate to this. People are feeling personally disconnected with other people, even though we have more social media today. Everybody's more connected than ever before, but the feeling they're having is that they're less connected. There's more isolation than ever before. And what's happened is we've, as a world, have lost touch with what's really real. It's an illusion of connectivity that has created a false reality. And some of you can relate to that. The loss of personal relationships and real connection, it's fostering a sickness in our society. The violence, you've all experienced it, the stress, the angst, the discontent, the resignation, the disenchantment. We could go real deep on this stuff, but we're not going to. The uncertainty and even the fear that's being created by many of the posts on TikTok and Instagram. I mean, you see it if you're scrolling those feeds. We have a solution, and this is, I'm working directly with Maria on this, but we have a solution that can make a big difference for people. People are tired of getting bombarded with marketing messages, and it's getting worse and worse. We love marketing, all of us, myself included. But the general population, they're getting bombarded, and it's escalating. And it's getting more and more stressful for them, to almost to the point where they don't even want to see it. They're tired of getting sold and manipulated. And this is where all the pushback comes from. Marketing to people that are not interested in you. So people forgot what it really takes to make the world go round. And what I'm going to do is remind you, and also myself, as I always do, people, Maya Angelou's quote, people not remember what you say or what you do. They will remember how you made them feel. So I was collaborating with Maria earlier, and we came up with 3 objectives for this, for the next few minutes. Number 1 is to help you to understand the big problem that we solve. The second is why we are the solution. And the third is how will this impact all areas of your life, especially financially. We want you to have enough information to say yes or no to take the next step. So no is okay too. So I want to share just briefly my story. I heard about this idea 18 years ago. I started getting cards in the mail from a guy I didn't know. Some of the cards were complimentary because he knew me, but I didn't know him. A couple of the cards over a period of a couple of weeks had a DVD in them, back when people were still using DVDs and had DVD players. And I popped the DVD in and I watched it. And as soon as I watched it, I thought to myself, this is something that I need and I'll use it every day. And then after I started using it, I said to him, and you'll find out what it is, but after I started using it, I started saying to myself within a matter of a few weeks, this is something millions and millions of people are going to do. for the very reason that I described earlier in this. So I got started building it, and I started signing up customers and collecting little residual checks and then looking for team members. And over the next 18 years, built 600,000 affiliates in 5 countries and over 1 million customers. Now, a whole generation of people have grown up since I got started with this company 18 years ago. People that were 5 years old and 8 years old and 10 years old are now in their 20s and 30s and 40s. And the biggest opportunity is in the millennials and younger right now. And I'll explain why here in a few minutes. So the story of our company, that's my story. And I've got, obviously, I could tell you a lot more. I wrote a book called Beach Money. I think some of you know about it. Sold over 1 million copies. And it still sells a lot of copies. It's on Amazon. And then I want to tell you briefly the story of our company, Promptings. Cody Bateman, our founder, wrote a book called Promptings. And if I said to you, what's a prompting? You could probably explain back to me what a prompting is. Cody was 21 years old. His best friend was his older brother, Chris, who was 28. And Chris was an electrician. And Cody was married to Jody and had a little baby, and they were moving across the country. And they got together with their family. They had a large family, and they were all saying goodbye. And Cody, the younger brother, saw his brother Chris in a pickup truck, and he had this really strong prompting to go over to his brother Chris, give him a hug, and tell him he loved him. But he ignored the prompting. Instead, he and Jody waved to his brother in the pickup truck, and they drove away. 3 months later, he gets a phone call. He's in New York City in his bedroom early in the morning, gets a phone call from his mother. His mother's calling to tell him that his older brother, his best friend, Chris, had been killed in an electrical accident. And Cody sat in that apartment, staring at a brick wall, thinking to himself, I'll never get a chance to say goodbye to my brother and tell him that I love him. And so that day, Cody decided, whatever I do in my life, I'm going to make sure that people never ignore their promptings. I'm going to create a movement that will allow people to act on their promptings so that while they're alive, they can celebrate the people in their life. So that's the premise of our company. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share a little exercise with you here. I don't think Maria's even seen this. So sometimes what seems logical is the opposite of what needs to happen to see an opportunity. And let me give you an example. There's promptings right there. Thanks, Law. The hummingbird. So if you can imagine a hummingbird flying into your living room straight over to the big picture window, and there's a wide open door 10 feet away. And that hummingbird, the logical thing for him to do is to fly through that window because that's where he sees the opening, and he's flying against the glass, and literally behind him 10 feet away is a wide open door. You can't get him to go to the door because logically what it seems for the hummingbird is to fly through the glass. Sometimes what seems logical is the opposite of what needs to happen. And that's what I see happening in the relationship marketing world today, in the marketing world today. People think that it's in this direction, but actually the answer is in this direction. So I'm going to give you all 45 seconds to learn what you see on the screen here right now, this numbering system. I'm going to have you learn it. And you can't use any notes. You can't screenshot it. You just have to look at it and use your memory. Don't screenshot it. Don't use any notes. Just look at it. I'm going to give you 45 seconds. And you only need 4 seconds to learn this, but I'm going to give you 45 seconds. And I'm going to be quiet mostly and let you do it. And I want you to learn it. Do your very best. Concentrate and focus. Ten seconds. 20 seconds. 30 seconds. Concentrate. Focus. You only need 4 seconds, but I'm giving you 45 seconds. That's 40 seconds. 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Without looking at any notes or a screenshot, can anybody tell me this number? If you can tell me the number, just unmute yourself and tell me the whole number, not just some of them, but all of them. Anybody? So I've done this with groups of 1,000 people in live events. And usually there's 3 or 4 people out of 1,000 that have a photographic memory that could do it. But what did I tell you? I tell you, you only needed 4 seconds to do it. I gave you 45 seconds. If I gave you 3 minutes, you still wouldn't be able to get the number. I told you to focus and try harder, which is what we try and get people to do in our businesses. We're always trying to get people to focus and try harder. But what if it's like trying to convince the hummingbird that if they try harder, they'll get through that window? The answer doesn't lie in that direction. The answer lies by refocusing in a different direction. Now, it's a different way of thinking. How long does it take you to learn the system when you have this? Watch. Just a different way of viewing things. 8, what is it? 3, 9, 5, 6, 1. Everybody see that? That's the passcode on my bank account. So if you need it, just write that down. Anyway, just kidding. So that's just a different way of looking at it. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to talk to you today about a different way of looking at marketing, a different way of looking at marketing, a way that's way more effective if you don't do it for the purpose of it being effective. If you don't do it for the purpose of it being effective, it will be light years. So like if you had a team of people that were learning this numbering system this way, think about how much more productive they would be than if they were then all of them were trying to learn it the other way. So if you imagine you have a community of people, and so hang on just a second here. I need to do 2 things. I need to optimize the sound on this because I'm going to be showing you a couple very short videos. And then I also need to, are you seeing my screen right now, Maria?
I am.
Okay, good. For some reason it's not. So you can see that? Everybody can see that, Maria?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Consider that without a relationship, any marketing you do will fall on deaf ears, even if you have a great solution. Now you can create a relationship online with people, like a familiarity. You know, Maria makes some of you probably do the same thing, makes a lot of videos, and she's creating a relationship with the people that watch her and follow her. But without that relationship, any marketing you do will fall on deaf ears, even if your solution is fantastic. Now, whether you like Bill Gates or not, I'm just going to read a short story from a page of a book. And this book is called The Third Door. And the guy who was 18 years old at the time that was trying to get advice finally got a meeting with Bill Gates. And it took him, he was actually probably 20 when he got the meeting. So it took him a couple of years. And he's talking about how he got to Bill Gates. But then when he was sitting with Bill, this is what he told him. Gates told me to ask for their advice, spend as much informal time with them as possible, and get them to take me under their wing. I can now see that Gates was essentially telling me to stop worrying about the BuzzFeed tricks. That's the marketing tricks. The best negotiating tactic is to build a genuine, trusting relationship. If you're an unknown entrepreneur and the person you're dealing with isn't invested in you, why would he or she even do business with you? On the other hand, if the person is your mentor or friend, you might not even need to negotiate. So we believe in the 80-20 rule for this reason: 80% marketing, 20% relationship. That means focusing 80% on relationships. And because one person can lead to 5, 10, 20 referrals, if you focus on the relationship with that person, that creates a money machine versus just focusing on marketing when you know that without a relationship, any marketing you do will fall on deaf ears, even if you have a great solution. It's all about creating connection. So I'm going to show you 2 videos. Maria, would you mind just telling everybody who this is on the left?
My mentor, Jesse Isler.
And explain Jesse's success and a little bit about him.
So Jesse's married to Sarah Blakely, the Shape self-made billionaire, owner of Spanx. And then he's also known as an extreme athlete. but he's also a multi-millionaire. But when he was young, he used to send 10 cards, handwritten cards every single day. And
He's
through this,
gonna tell us here, Maria.
okay.
I'm gonna play the video, but I wanted everybody to get just a little background on him, which you gave them. So this is what he had to say.
When I was 24 years old, I wrote 10 letters a day, thank you notes, to anyone that came into my life that impacted me. And it could be, even if I didn't know you, but I saw your show and I was like, you know what, Tom, you've had some amazing guests I've really benefited from. I would just write you a handwritten note because, one, the handwritten note shows intent. You have to buy the envelope, buy the stationery, write the letter, lick the envelope, get the stamp, put it in the mail. That's a lot different than hitting send. It's also memorable. How many handwritten letters have you gotten this year? So I literally wrote 3,000 letters in 1 year. The people that you meet in your 20s rise up in their 30s and are in great positions of power in their 40s. You don't know in your 20s who's going to make it and who's not. So, you stay in touch, and very often those relationships merge their heads years later, decades later.
In a world of disconnection where nobody gets mail anymore, it sets you apart. It shows people that you care. And fortunately, in today's world, there's a way to do this without actually having to sit down with paper and envelopes and stamps and handwriting and all that. Something that'll save you a lot of time. Now, check out what Gary Vaynerchuk has to say. And there's a little trigger warning on this one because he does use a little language. So here we go.
This man, I happen to be good at marketing. If you're not deploying services on top of your sales, it's just not smart. You're leaving so much money on the table. And so first I would do that, and then I would find ways to be in touch with those people as often as possible, and then not just when you're asking them for goddamn money. You're super in touch when you want cash. How about when something big in their life happened? How about actually building a relationship? My friends, as we go more Jetsons, the people that act like the Flintstones are gonna win. Your grandparents are more theoretically prepared for social media than you are because they invented the baker's dozen. They invented when you walked into the shop, they started cutting your roast beef because they knew who you were. They invented coming over your house and giving you a cake when your grandmother died. Now you have technology and you can scale that. Can we please deploy some soul and scale it?
So I didn't have to pay Jesse or Gary to make those for me. They did those on their own, and we just found them. And I can tell you that what they're on to something here, especially in a world where people are getting just bombarded, and it's escalating with marketing messages. Harvey McCay, in his book Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive, you might have heard of that book. He says that you can predict the future of someone's income by looking at the size of his or her Rolodex. Now, that's a Rolodex on the left. We don't have those anymore. Our Rolodex is in our phones. But most people just have a lot of contacts in their CRM. Most people are just marketing to their contacts. They're not building relationships with their contacts, and it's the relationships that are going to lead you to the business. Tom Hopkins built a multi-million-dollar real estate business and a multi-million-dollar training business, handwriting thank you notes. And what Tom did, he's got a chapter in his book, How to Master the Art of Selling, that's called the thank you note habit. Every single person that bought a home from him, he sent him a thank you card. Now, again, I'm not going to ever encourage anybody in today's world to sit down and handwrite cards because people don't do that anymore. It would be a valuable use of your time, but there's other ways to do it today. So how you're showing up will determine to what level someone does business with you and to what level they refer people to you or come back for more. So you have to show up as the best and then and as a person that really cares. So our system, it fosters listening, acting, appreciating, attracting, and prospering with a simple technology. Listening for the opportunities to act on promptings, acting on those promptings, appreciating the people in your life and in your business will allow you to attract and prosper. So you can send from our app or from the website in the mail with the click of a button. You can add pictures from social media or from your phone and write messages of encouragement, messages of gratitude, messages of motivation. We're the largest customer of the US Post Office. We've sent out over 200 million cards, actually now over 200 million since this slide was made, 191 million cards on this. It's actually over 200 now. This is Harvey McCay, which I mentioned just a minute ago. Harvey says, business is all about building relationships. If you want to make more money and enjoy more lifestyle, you have to build better relationships than the next person. Send Out Cards helps you to do both personally and professionally. It's the first company I've ever endorsed because it fits perfectly with my philosophy. You would have to be crazy not to use it. And if you don't know Harvey McCay, he's written over 30 books in many, many languages, and he's an international best-selling author for many, many, many years. He's still alive and he's still speaking. So you can own the real estate on someone's refrigerator. When you think about it, people put the things that they celebrate the most, the things that they love the most on social media. They put their parties, they put their family, they put their new puppy, they put grandma's birthday. You take that from your phone, drop it on a postcard, type a nice message on the back, complimentary message. Maybe one of your friends, for example, his son pitches a no-hitter, put that on a postcard, hit send. That will be on their refrigerator, and they'll think of you. Now, when you market, it's a different game because they're 100 times more likely to say yes to you if you've built that strong relationship. So it's great for following up after an appointment, prospecting. Thank you for your referral, anniversary and birthday, which is really powerful. Most people in digital marketing don't do that. So when you do it, it differentiates you. Closing gifts and gift cards and motivational cards. Now, and then of course, holidays are coming up. What if you could create a holiday card and have it personalized, and you can send it with the click of a button, one click, and you send a card to 100 people. That's a beautiful card that's personalized where it has their name in the card. And what it does is it's another touch point. So I'm just talking about the opportunity that exists within using the system, but there's also an opportunity that exists in promoting the system. Now I want to share a couple more stories with you, and I will open it up for questions here in a few minutes. But this is my father. He passed about 8 years ago, and my dad was turning 80. And actually, I think at this point he was 83, and it was 80 because it was his 80th birthday. And he was really depressed because my mother was essentially in hospice with Alzheimer's, and she had been declining for about 8 years, and it was very difficult on my father. This is the home I grew up in Park Forest, Illinois. Well, I was speaking in front of a group of 2,000 people. By the way, my dad was very, very resistant and negative about my type of work, what I did for a living for many years. And then in his later years, when I started taking him on cruises and I bought him a new car, had it shipped to his house, then wrote the book and said some nice things about him in the book. Then he started becoming a real fan. And I probably gave my father over 100 copies of my book to give to his friends. So my father was turning 80. My mom was in the hospital, not doing well. And I was in front of a couple thousand people, and I knew his birthday was coming up. And I said, and they all used our system. I said, you don't have to do it, but it would really make me happy. And I know it would blow my father away if you were to send him a birthday card for his 80th birthday. And so I just put that out there. I put my assistant's address up on the screen so they could send the cards there. My assistant boxed all the cards up and sent them to me. And then I flew to Park Forest, Illinois, and sat with my father, with my sister. And this was my father opening the box. Here we go.
Who's the card, Dad?
Huh?
Who's the puppy card?
Thank you, Donna, for solving the mystery.
I actually edited this video quite a bit because it took him a really long time to get this thing open.
Here, Donna, pull the box up.
We thought it was bed sheets from Bed Bath & Beyond because it was in a Bed Bath & Beyond box.
You have scissors?
I still don't know what
Where's
it
the
is.
scissors?
Right here. I was almost right.
What?
They're all send-out cards? All birthday cards? From all your downliners. Happy birthday. Everyone have a Dunkin' Donut card?
Share.
Oh my.
So, by the way, my father loved Dunkin' Donuts. He went there every morning for 20 years to meet with his friends and get a newspaper and a cup of coffee. And we have gift cards and we have gifts. Well, I told everybody that my dad loved Dunkin' Donuts, and they sent him literally 1,000 cards he received over the next couple of weeks. 600 Dunkin' Donuts cards get worth over $5,000. Now, the way my father lit up in this video is the way that people light up. No matter, it doesn't have to be just relatives, but friends, and then of course people that are potential customers. But you do it not because you're trying to get something from them. Just like the hummingbird, it's like you're doing it without expecting anything in return. I wasn't looking for anything from my father when I did this. I wasn't looking for anything from him. But it's a great story, and I get to tell it now. And it made him feel great, and it made me feel great. My father never bought a cup of coffee for the rest of his life, obviously. And he gave a lot of these cards to the firemen and to the policemen and things like that. There's my dad opening the cards from all over the world. So marketing versus relationship. Marketing is disconnection. In today's world, and it's going to get worse, the more marketing you do, the more disconnected the people in your life are going to feel from you. If they're seeing your marketing, most of them will tune it out. Most of them won't comment or like on your messages. They'll just ignore it. And you've experienced that. I've experienced it whenever I market. Put a post up about something personal and you get 150 likes. Put something about marketing and you get 2 likes. Relationship, marketing versus relationship. Relationship is all about connection. People do business with people that they feel a connection with. People are feeling personally disconnected. In the online universe, they've lost touch with what's real. The illusion of connectivity has created a false reality. The loss of personal relationship and real connection is fostering sickness in our society. The violence, the stress, the angst, the discontent, the resignation, the disenchantment, the uncertainty, and even the fear are all symptoms of disconnection. We have a solution. This is a solution that can make a difference. When you act on promptings, when you look for those opportunities to touch people in a meaningful way, a way that will make them know that you care. People are tired of getting bombarded with marketing messages, and it's getting worse. They're done with it. They're over it. They're tired of getting sold. They're tired of getting manipulated. And this is where all the pushback comes from. Marketing to people that are not interested in you. People forgot what really makes the world go round, and I'm going to remind you here. So just like I quoted early on, Maya Angelou's quote, people will not remember what you say or what you do. They'll remember how you made them feel. So here's the action plan. Simple. Yes or no? Yeah, you may have questions. That's great. But what Maria's looking for is, yes, you want to take the next step, or no, you're not interested. And either answer is totally fine. I'm going to recommend that you just try it. Take the 10 card challenge. Send 10 personal cards to people that you care about in your life. It costs $20. You sign up, you have a username and password, you load our app, log in, and you're good to go. And you can start using the app. Super simple to use. You can send a card in about 2 to 3 minutes. First couple cards you send will take longer just because you're trying to figure out exactly what you're doing, but it's super simple. If it makes sense, you can pick a plan that works for you and upgrade to affiliate to open up the business building opportunity. So at this point, Maria, I didn't get into a lot of the nitty gritty details. We can talk about that in some of the Q&A if you want to, but this is the end of my presentation. And so I'll open it up now for questions and anything that you might want to add.
Well, before we open up for questions, because this is going to be added to my funnel and to the people that are going to be running this funnel, would you mind also adding the cost of to become an affiliate? And then also what, I know we can't talk about money, but can you talk about what's possible? And then lastly, the one question that everybody asks and everybody thinks, do people get paid to send? Should people send cards so that they can get paid? Is that how people are going to build money, by sending cards, or people just going to get money because they send cards to people? I think that's the biggest misunderstanding that people have about doing the right thing because it's the right thing versus doing it for the sake of, this is how I'm going to make money.
Yeah. So people that give without the expectation of return are the ones that do best. There are probably 100 books written by multimillionaires and billionaires that talk about the power of sending handwritten notes. There's so many books like that. but it's the multimillionaires and billionaires. They got there because they built those relationships, but they don't send those cards to get business. They send the cards to connect with people in a meaningful way. So it's giving without the expectation of getting anything in return. What the result of that is, the manifestation of that energy is an income stream. People are more likely to do business with you. They're more likely to refer their friends. They're more likely to do repeat business with you when you connect with people. So for example, if you send a card of congratulations after a friend of yours, son and daughter, gets married, that goes a long way in terms of marketing, but you're not doing it to market, right? So that's how I would answer that. To be an affiliate, you can sign up on any customer plan. You can sign up on the $20 plan, which is $20 one time. You get the full account. You get everything. You get thousands of card designs. You get our templates. You get the campaign manager. You get the content, the CRM, everything. $20 one time, and you have a full account with the username and password that you can send any kind of card with pictures from your phone or your computer. Then we have upgrade options, and Maria can share those upgrade options with you later. But on top of that, there's an add-on, and the add-on is called affiliate, right? $14 a month. You get the compensation structure, you get the compensation plan, you get the marketing app. We have an app that has all the videos and your personalized websites, and it's all done for you for just $14 a month. That's included. And then the compensation, you make 10% off every gift that's sent. You make 20% from every card or card packages purchased. There are a lot of companies that will buy large card packages, like 1,000 cards or 2,000 cards or 5,000 cards, because they send out lots of cards for, campaigns and things like that, marketing as well as personal and holidays and things. You get a 30% commission on those, and that's paid daily. So then some of the people that you bring on will want to be affiliates, and you get overrides on up to 10% overrides on all the volume that your business creates. So that's just in a nutshell. In terms of income potential, the only thing I can tell you on that, because I don't want to get into the specifics of it. I'm not able to share specific how much money you're going to make, because I can't guarantee how much money you're going to make. And the government doesn't like you to talk about how much money somebody's going to make because they consider that as an enticement in our business. So not just my business, but other businesses as well. So that being said, I can tell you that we can give you the compensation plan. You can plug your own numbers in based on what you want to do. But I will tell you that the potential is really up to you. How much you make is based on what you put into it and the volume that you build. It's like any business. If you build a big company with lots of volume, you're going to get paid big checks every month. If you don't build a business and you have no volume, you're not going to get paid anything. So I can tell you this, most people, like I would say less than 1% of the entire population, adult population of our country, less than 1% has a residual income. So any residual income is better than what most people have. And there's not a single person out there that would not like to have a check coming to their mailbox or in their bank account without having to go to work. There's not a single person out there that wouldn't want to people will work their whole lives so they can get a retirement check from the government. Why not build a residual check that equals what your government check would be, but so you can get it now instead of waiting till your retirement age, right? I can't tell you that you're going to make more than $1,000 a month. I can't tell you you're going to make more than $10,000 a month. I can't tell you you're going to make more than $100,000 a month. It'll all depend on what you do. It'll all depend on the business that you build. And I can tell you that I believe that in today's world, more than ever before, this is a gold mine. This is my personal belief. I believe it's a gold mine. I believe there are big things getting ready to happen, because the more disconnected we become, the more need for connection. And the social media and AI and online marketing, digital marketing world does not foster connection. It fosters disconnection. But what we do through acting on promptings is teaching people to act on promptings. That fosters connection. And that's what people are craving today. And the bigger that all that other stuff goes, the more they're going to resist it. So I'm not dogging any industry. I'm not dogging any marketing method. I am going to say this though, marketing is important. It's what makes the world go round. But if that's all you focus on, you're going to drive your relationships away. They're not going to come towards you because you're pushing what you've got. They're going to come towards you because they feel connected to you and they know you value them as a person. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
All right. So I'll
Well,
get off my
so now I'm going to ask for two more things. I don't know if you're if you're able to do that at this moment, but one, I wanted them to be able to see, you know how you show us how to send the card, and if you could show us the back of the office so like they can see the trainings that we have and just an overview as to what they would get if they were to do this.
So I'm gonna share my phone screen with you. I'm gonna send a card to Maria so you can see me do that.
Woohoo!
All right. So
Love your cards.
I'm going to go, thank you. I'm going to go to the app, which is send out cards on the upper left. This is what the app looks like when you go into it. So you've got your thank you cards, just like you'd see in, you know, Walgreens or CVS. You've got your, you know, celebrations cards, your just because cards. Anywhere you see a photograph, you can drop your own photograph in. So I wouldn't send this card with this photograph. I'd put my own photograph in. So one thing I might want to do is I might want to go to Facebook and pull up Maria and go to her Facebook, and I'm going to look at her photos. And I'm going to find a photo that I think she would like. You like that photo?
Yes.
You know, it's a little blurry. That one's a little grainy. I'm not going to use that one. Tell me one you really like.
The beach one.
Right here?
Uh-huh.
I like that one a lot. Okay, I'm going to save that on my phone. Now I'm going to go back to my Send Out Cards app, and I'm just going to hit create on this card. And I'm going to tap where I want the picture, and I'm going to go to my photos, and I'm going to drop that photo onto the card. By the way, we have tutorials on this. I'm going fast, but it's pretty simple. There's really not that many buttons to push. This is the front of the card. It says front on the upper left. If I swipe to the left, that's the inside left. If I swipe again, that's the inside right. If I swipe again, that's the back of the card. I've got my Beach Money logo and my QR code that leads to my link tree on the back of the card, but you could put whatever you want on the back. So on the that's the front of the card. On the inside left, I'm just going to add some color. That's good. So now I'm going to go to the inside right, and I'm going to put a message in here for Maria. Hi, Maria, exclamation point, new line. I'm really enjoying working with you, and I appreciate our friendship, period. New line. Thanks for pulling a group together the other day, and please let everybody know how much I enjoyed the meeting, exclamation point, new line. Cheers, comma, new line, Jordan, new line, 602-850-4440. Boom. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight what I wrote, and there's a little toolbar underneath there. I'm going to click on the capital A, and I'm going to pick a font. And then I'm going to click on the two little T's, and I can change the size. And then I can go on the far right and change the color of the font. So now that's the front of the card, that's the inside left, that's the inside right, and that's the back of the card. Now I'm going to click the paper airplane on the upper right, which is the send button. And you'll notice a button in the middle of the page there that says add a gift. If I want to add a gift, I click add a gift. Then if I click this three little dots on the upper right, I can go to gift cards. I could send Maria a Starbucks gift card, American Express gift card if I want to, or I could add a gift, click the three little dots, click on gifts, click the little three little dots again, and I could go to brownies and bars, for example. I could send her something like that. There's cookies, caramels, there's baby gifts in here, all kinds of different gifts, but I am going to send her a gift on this one. I'm going to send her a book called The Magic. Oh, wait, where is it? Is it in here?
I see it on top.
No, that's not it. I was going to send you the book, the Power of Positivity, but I don't see it here. So let me see if it's in books and CDs. Hang on. It may, I don't know if it's still in here. It's a good book, but it may not be in here anymore. Where's books? Merchandise. Did they move it? It looks like they pulled that cat. Oh, there it is. Let's see if it's in here.
And while Jordan is doing that, one thing that I love about our store is that imagine having an Amazon store without you having to buy the stuff or do all the crazy stuff that you do when you're building with Amazon. So you have a lot of access to a lot of things on your promptings store.
So thank you for that. So there's the card at the top. There's the book I'm going to send Maria. I'm going to hit add a contact, select a contact. Now I'm going to type in Maria's name. There it is. Done, done. Now you'll notice under contacts that I could add more contacts or I could select a group. I could send this card and this book to a group of people if I wanted to with one click, but I'm only sending it to Maria. And so you'll see the card is free because I'm on a subscription. So I pay $97 a month and I can send unlimited cards and including postage anywhere in the world, as long as they're unique cards like this card. However, there's shipping on this because there's a book. If there was no book attached to it, the postage would be free as well. The book is $12.95. The shipping is $4.50. Total is $17.76. So that card will be, now tomorrow's Sunday, that card will be at the post office on Monday morning. So that's how that works. Now you've got campaigns as well down here, and campaigns are cards that you create and save, and then you can use them over and over again. So for example, I've got a card called Random Acts of Coffee. This is a card that's already got a Starbucks card attached to it, and it's already written. I can just now drop in an address, hit send, and that card's in the mail. I don't need to write the card because it's already written. So there's the Starbucks card. There's the card. If I want to look at it, I can. I can add a contact, hit send. So those are called campaigns. The other thing that Maria was asking me to show you real briefly is we've got this app. When you become an affiliate for $14 a month, you get an app called Promptings Pro, which is what this is right now. It's a separate app. It's got all your websites in it. So if you want to send an SMS or an email with your website already linked to you, and they're really well done landing pages, super well done. Like for the 10 card challenge, we've got this one right here, the 10 card challenge. You can literally right from the app, this is what it looks like, if I can get it to open. You literally right from the app can send these websites out and they're connected to you. And then when somebody signs up, you just start getting paid. And then there's also all the PDFs are in here, videos. We got a free ebook, 170-page ebook that's illustrated that you can send out. That's all included. This is all included with the, if you had to hire somebody to create this for you, it would literally cost you probably $100,000 to create what's in here, which is given to you for $14 a month.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you. And then my next question, just for purposes of making it crystal clear. So how do people make money with us? There's three ways, right? There is the one way that you get businesses to purchase this to use in their business. You get people like moms to buy this as, you know, and to send it. And then you get people like me and you that want to create passive residual income. Is that correct?
So yeah, so there are customers that want to just use our service, and then there's people that want to build a business. And what happens if you lead? There's one thing, if you lead, to keep it super simple, that's another thing that people are getting fed up with, is the complexity of doing business today. The simplicity of what we do is we do two things. We send cards, and we find other people that want to send cards. Three things. We send cards, we find other people that want to send cards, to act on promptings, to make the world a better place, to build stronger connections, to create appreciation. And the third thing we do is we find people that want to build a business. That's it. And so the Promptings Pro app helps you find people that want to build a business. The service helps you act on promptings and reach out in kindness. And so that's it. So if you focus on the 10 card challenge, which is just $20, it's easy for somebody to say yes to that because it's only $20. If you focus on that, from there, we've got all the emails and the autoresponders. It's all done for you. From that, people will find their upgrade path to subscriptions, to card packages, and also to affiliate. And you get an override on anybody who becomes an affiliate that builds a business. You get an override on that.
That's the part that I love, because that's the part that for 6 months I didn't do anything, and this is why I came back. But I'll talk about that after we address Sean's question. But before we go into questions, one last thing. One of the things that a lot of people, especially men, have said, well, Maria, nobody sends cards anymore, and that's just for women or all women to send cards. Can you speak on that also? And then after that,
first of all,
we'll go to Sean.
about 70% of the people that are sending cards are men right now. Okay, that's a fact. But that's the reason that was just given, Maria, is the reason why you should do this, not the reason why you shouldn't do it. The reason why you should do it, if nobody's sending cards anymore, that's what Gary Vaynerchuk was saying. If nobody's sending cards anymore, what do you want to do? You want to send cards because that's going to differentiate you. It's going to make you stand out as the person who cares. Do you want people to shout you out on social media? Your marketing message is not going to do it. If you want them to shout you out on social media, show them that you took the time to send them something that's important to them.
Thank you. And with that, Mr. Sean, you're in. Thank you so much, Jordan. But now we'll go ahead and answer questions, and we'll address Ben's questions as well.
Okay. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Sean. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, so my question is that we're focusing on the 10 card challenge. In your experience, what is the percentage of people that continue on after that 20-day period and continue on as a customer?
Yeah, if you don't follow up with them, first of all, when they buy the challenge, Sean, for $20, they get the 10 cards and the 10 stamps. If you don't, if they don't use their 10 cards, or if they use them, then they revert to a regular basic account, which means they still have an account. They can still do everything. It's just that they're going to pay our highest price, which is it's still half what they paid if they went to the store. However, most people, like when I say most, 50% find an upgrade path. So they either upgrade to our $37 a month because they want to save money, or $97 a month because they want to save money, or they start buying card packages. So they'll buy a 500 card package to use over the next year. And then you've got gifts on top of that. But what's cool about it is when you sign up a $20 customer, they have 10 cards and 10 stamps. From the day that you sign them up, if they continue to use it, however they continue to use it, you have an instant residual check. Because you're getting 10% off gifts and 20% off subscriptions and 30% off card packages. So you have an instant residual check. Okay. And our customers are the reason we're here today after 18 years, because there's very few companies that last for 18 years, very few. If you look at the number of companies that fail within their first 10 years, first 5 years, the reason we're here is because of our customer loyalty. People keep using us.
And go ahead. Are there any pre-designed follow-up cards that kind of spell out go ahead.
There's thousands of cards in the system, and we even have some packages that there's some packages that you can purchase, some card packages that you can purchase that are actually pre-written and pre-designed, but you get templates that are already designed for follow-up in your system, even on the $20 plan.
Okay, thank you.
And then Ben is asking, can everyone be an affiliate? Is this in Europe, Denmark, or can you give us the 5 countries? I'm adding that. Can you give us the 5 countries that affiliates are available? And then what do countries do? Because I do have a couple of people that are from other countries. What do people do when they're out of another country that is not available for that?
Yeah, so you can sign up customers anywhere in the world. And you can send cards to any mailbox in the world. Even if you're on our unlimited plan, which includes postage, there's no extra postage to send cards to international destinations. As far as affiliates go, so you can be a customer anywhere in the world. That's just somebody using the service. As far as affiliates go, there's 5 countries that you can sign up affiliates, and that's the United States and Canada, Singapore, the United Kingdom, and Australia, New Zealand. Those are the 5 countries that we can legally sign up affiliates. Anywhere else, you cannot legally sign up an affiliate. And there's a government ID that's required in order for them to be an affiliate for tax purposes. So if they live in a country that is not one of those 5 and they want to be an affiliate, the answer is no. The only thing that you do need to be aware of is that our distribution center is in the United States. So if you're in Australia and you send a card to someone in Australia, we have affiliates in Australia, but if you are in Australia and you send a card to somebody who's in Australia, that card's coming from the United States, so it's going to take longer, right? Because it's going overseas. So it's best designed for people that are in the United States or Canada, but it does work. UK is 5 days. UK is pretty good. There are some places in the world where their postal system is so messed up that only about half the cards that you send get there. But those are places like, you know, Iraq and Iran, and Mexico even is like 50%.
Yeah, Mexico and Colombia. I know that. I know that.
Venezuela,
So
Costa Rica.
yes, Les is asking about the compensation plan. If you want to have the compensation plan, that is inside my Facebook group, and then just reach out to me privately, and then I'll give you access to that. So there's the same question. So yeah, anybody who wants a copy of the compensation plan, but I'm gonna give you the same guidance that Jordan gave me when I first came on. He says, before you look at the compensation and everything else, he says, send some cards yourself and see how you feel about sending cards. Because how can you look at how all this money that you're going to make if you've never even sent a card through our program, right? If you've never really experienced what it would be like to be a client, how can you start building a business without actually doing that? But regardless, I will still give you a copy, access to the compensation plan. And then are there any other questions that we may have? Yes.
Very important for everybody on here. Don't just go sign up on your own. Make sure and get with Maria. You want to be working with Maria. You don't want to work with some random person you don't know. So make sure that you get the link from Maria, her QR code, she has that, if you want to set up the $20 plan or any plan. Just make sure and get with Maria on that.
Yes. And actually, do you still have a copy of that? Because I don't have any guests. I was gonna say the last time I didn't have you do that because we had guests from other people, but this time we don't have guests from anybody. So if you wouldn't mind showing that, that would be great.
Give me just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll have it.
And then are there any other, I think I've covered all the questions that everybody had kind of thrown at me, that they were, as we were doing this. I'm just looking through my questions real quick.
Maria's QR code is on the bottom right there.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Yeah, actually, if you could show that slide while we're talking, that would be great.
So here's the upgrade. Here's the upgrade paths. People will find their way. Sean, 50% of the people you sign up, even if you don't follow up with them, will find their way to an upgrade path because of the emails that they receive. So $37 a month, they get 20 cards and 20 stamps per month, 20% discount on the gifts, and you, as the affiliate, make 20% per month and 10% on the gifts. Another path is $97 a month. They can send unlimited personal heartfelt cards, postage included, anywhere in the world. And system sends, which would be cards sent to groups of people, are $1.50 plus the stamp, unless they buy a package. And you get a 30% discount on the gifts on that plan. And you, as the affiliate, make 20% per month and 10% off gifts. And then we also have a package. It's an all-inclusive, lots of done-for-you stuff, $497, and then $97 a month for the unlimited. It's promptings process package. It's a $1,500 package that we have discounted to $497. It gives you the full experience, including a coach. It gives you it gives you all the campaign, the entire campaign store, which is all of our drip campaigns. And then you, as an affiliate, you also get a VA for a couple hours to help you design the back of your card and help you organize your contacts. You make $125 and you get residuals on the cards. So those are the and then of course the next upgrade path is the $14 a month program, which I talked about.
And then go ahead, Jordan.
No, that was it.
Okay, sorry about that. Les also asked, I don't think I understand what you mean, Les. Training to be successful affiliate. Are you asking, Les, do we have training to be successful in this? Is that what you're asking, Les? So I think that's what he's asking. So if that is what you're asking, one, you're gonna get you're gonna get Jordan Adler, who's been doing this successfully, and he continues to be the top income earner, not just in our company. I think I can say that, right, Jordan?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So he continues to be not just a top income earner in our company, but he continues to be the top income earner in our industry, and also in the mix of speakers. The other thing is that you're going to get yours truly, and with me, you're also going to get what we're going to be discussing. Also, is the 100 days to 100,000 with the Alex Hermosi Rule 100, and then you also get, for those of you who are daily pay, you also get the system. You're also going to get a funnel. You also get everything else to actually promote this on content marketing in addition to the traditional. So the way that some of you found out about this is because you received my email, because you had seen a video. So that's content marketing paired with email marketing. Jill is very familiar with it. Diane is very familiar with it. So that's some of the things that we're going to be gaining. So when you are part of my community, Les and everybody else, not only do you get Jordan, but you also get my techniques as to how all of you, I called into this meeting. I think Jordan and I decided to do this meeting sometime late this evening. So, late last night. So I sent all of these out. I think it was probably, I started sending these out about 7 p.m. last night and early this morning. And voila, there's 20 people here. There was about 20 people here from just my efforts of last night and this morning because of my efforts that I had already done. And then we have someone here that's incognito, Jordan. I didn't realize he was here, but he is a top nonprofit leader with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So his question is, I'm interested in sending all of our 500 plus 2023 conference. He has conferences that I think this is his 50th anniversary of his conferences. Wow. They are all individuals within organizations. How effective could this help extend the relationship model?
So if they've got organizations and they're people of influence, it's worth obviously dripping on them with a few cards, right? Whether it be promoting an event or just personal cards. And so we have, you can send through the website or the phone. You could create a campaign card or create maybe a 3-card campaign, for example, save it, and then pull up the list. You can even import the list into the system so that they're all there in a group. And then you just pull up the card, add the list, and hit send, and that card will go out. And the cost on those cards is really going to depend on the plan that you have. So if you're on the $97 plan, a month plan, they're $1.50 plus the stamp. However, you can get, depending on how many you're going to send over the course of the year, you can get them down to below $1 per card plus the stamp. So if you know, like for example, I buy 4 packages that are 2,000 card packages every year. I buy 4. That's 8,000 cards, because that's how many cards groups send cards or system send cards I send between holidays and the other stuff I'm sending. So that's a $550 commission on every purchase paid the next day to the person that signed me up.
And here are some of the examples of the ones that Jordan sends out, which I'm the proud recipient of some of his cards. And then here's another one. This one is actually, this one you have a sequence of these, right, Jordan? And then this one, this is for the incognito. I don't know since you're coming in incognito, I'm not gonna say your name. And then this one is another one that he sends. And you can put a private message. And then I stand corrected. It's his 25th anniversary of that very, very
I was wondering how old this guy was. 50th anniversary. He must have been like 80 years old.
No, he's actually my age. He's 50. I'm 51. He's about my age. No, 25th anniversary. 25 years. So a quarter of a century he's been doing this very successfully. I may say so. So any other questions? So again, this is, look, I want to tell you one last thing, and then after this, I won't hold Jordan back unless somebody else has a question. Robert, did you have a question, or were you just applauding? I saw you, but I wasn't sure if you were applauding or if you had a question.
I had a question, but it was I pressed the wrong one. But I do have a question. It's a real basic, stupid question. how do you get addresses from these people? You just say, hey, I want to send you something. What's your
Yeah.
address?
So, Robert, great. Thanks for the question. It's a great question. First thing is, you're not going to be sending cards to people cold. All right. So you don't send cards to people you don't know. I don't recommend that. That's like those go to the trash because you don't have any basis of relationship with them. But people that you've met, if you tell them that, just like you said, I want to mail you something, what's your mailing address? 99 out of 100 people will give you their mailing address. That's the first thing. But you can also say, I'm updating my contact. You could send out a mass email, which is what I did when I got started, because there was no social media when I signed up with this. So I sent emails, and I sent an email blast out to everybody that ever communicated to me by email and said, I'm updating my contact manager and I'd love to get your mailing address. And out of the thousands, I got 350 addresses out of the thousands of emails that I sent out. I got 350 addresses from people that had communicated with me. And so I started putting them into my contacts. Today, you can import them in. We didn't have that back then, and started sending them cards. That's how I built a lot of those relationships. I would just ask them. The other thing is, if they own businesses, depending on the type of business, a lot of times their business address is easily found on the internet.
And here's something that you're very, very lucky and fortunate is that this is holiday season now. This is the time that the people that know proper etiquette, they know that this is a time where you're going to be getting all the email addresses for holiday card sending. So if you approach anybody and I'll send the actual words that I say. I can't believe it's holiday season. I'm updating my contacts. Just want to make sure that I include you in my holiday cards. Don't say Christmas cards because there's some people that are Jewish, there's some people that are anti. So because some people will respond to you like, well, I'm not a Christian, So just make sure that you say holiday cards, be mindful and respectful to everybody's beliefs because you want to be inclusive versus not the opposite. So yeah, it's actually relatively easy to get to get addresses. I have addresses from people that I've never even met, that I did ask strangers because I saw a post in their social media and I was just like, oh my gosh, this really touched. And again, this goes along with what Jordan is saying. If you follow your prompting and like, let's say, Jill, I see something that you say and I just genuinely say, Jill, I want to send something through the mail. What's your address? You're going to feel my energy that is genuine, right? Some people, of course, if they're tainted, they're going to be tainted. But and that's probably who you're not going to be drawn to. But if you're genuinely following your prompting, people are just going to, the majority of people, at least that's been the case with me and other people. Okay, so let's talk Monday. Okay, got it. I've got to look at all the packages and okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll talk on Monday. So any other questions before so we don't hold Jordan back, and then I'll address questions about daily pay and the Alex Hermosi. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, Jordan, thank you so much as always. I think this is my most favorite of them all. Plus, I
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Maria. It's really fun. Thanks. It's good to see everybody. I appreciate you taking some time, and hope to meet you in person someday soon.
Yes, let's do that. Bye, Jordan. And everybody hold tight.
Bye.
Bye, Jordan. Okay, so let's address a couple of things. Does anybody have questions other than what we've addressed so far? Okay, so a lot of you have asked, well, how do we make this work, right? How do we make all of this work? So this doesn't work against daily pay. This doesn't work against a nonprofit. This doesn't work against anything else that you're doing, right? This actually works in conjunction. Like Diana. Diana is a social worker and real estate agent, and also a daily pay, and then now a digital growth person. So although she has all those 4 businesses going for her, every single one of them, right? Every single one of them could benefit from having a stronger relationship. So she could send a card, a greeting card for every single person. As long as it's from the heart, people are going to respond to her. So we have a track record of people that have sold more houses because people received a heartfelt card, and then they don't just go to one person, they go like their children of their children of their children. When it comes to daily pay, if it comes to daily pay, what this is that right now with daily pay, you have one transaction. The transaction of the people that you're connecting with is a once, and this is the reason for why I decided to shift, right? Because what I realized was that in August, I had to go through a transition and I had to shift. So I wasn't able to move my daily pay business and by the way, Send That Cards also pays daily. So this is why I also promote as daily. But those of you who are here from daily pay only pays me one time and that's it. Even though it's $600, I get that and that's the end of my relationship. No matter how much I help the client, for lack of a better way of saying it, I'm screwed after that because I got every single month I have to go and find new people. And even though I'm very hopeful and I'm very resourceful, finding people that want to buy the product every single week, new people, if you have a down month, it can be very, if that's your livelihood. I know that a lot of you are not depending on this. I do this for my livelihood. So for me, it was a rude awakening because I had not touched my Send Out Cards business for 6 months. I was 4 months with daily pay, and then 2 months I was in the middle of a transition because I was moving. So for 6 months I had not touched them, and they went in the blink of an eye because I thought as soon as I finish moving, I'll go back to my Send Out Cards. As soon as I get my money right with my daily pay, I'll start sending thank you cards to all of my clients. Well, before I knew it, 6 months had passed, but guess what didn't pass? Me getting paid with my Send Out Cards. The moment that I took my pedal, my foot of a little bit of the pedal, not fully, right? I was still working my daily pay. I was still doing lives. I was still doing everything, but I wasn't doing everything that I was doing before. My income got shifted and it hurt like you cannot imagine. So I said, you know what? I'd rather build the doubling the penny style. Has anybody heard the doubling the penny style? You double the penny, you double the penny, you double the penny. So this is the same thing that I realized. I said, you know what? I'd rather do whatever it takes for me to build an income to make ends meet, but build something that is not going to be taken away from me because, well, I'm not going to, I'd rather build something that I am partnered with an established company that is regulated by the government, right? That they're not just going to say, oh, Maria, we don't like you anymore. You're not going to be able to have access to this community, or that whatever it is, right? That the company shifts or anything. This company has been around and has been proven to work and pays their affiliates and takes care of their clients. So like, for instance, if let's say that I decide to get married and go on a hiatus for 3 months, well, Les is still going to be taken care of because he's going to have access to Cody, the owner. He's going to have access to Jordan. He's going to have access to a whole community that is moderated by the government and by a company that has been around for almost 2 decades and that is also regulated by the government. So that is something that I'm very confident and very comfortable letting people into this community because I know this company has proven itself. So that's the reason. So if you're wondering, how do I make this work? So there's 2 ways that you make this work. One, you can do it the way that I'm doing it, that you build this for a full-time income. I love the service of the connection and offers. The whole promise to attract to me is in my beliefs. I love the idea in fostering relationships. Look, relationships is your actual capital, Jill, and that's exactly what it is. When you show people appreciation, yes, some people like. I think I messaged a couple of people. I messaged a couple of people that they were responsive in a really disrespectful way. They don't realize that this is what I do for a living. I don't do this because I want to be Miss Popular. I do this because this is my livelihood. So if I need to do something else to make a good livelihood, then I'm going to do whatever it takes because that's my responsibility. When it comes to how do we build this, we build this with 3 ways. We build it by sending cards, because if you've never sent a card, you don't know the power that it has. People literally have made videos, posts, called me and texted me and sent me a card in response to a card that I made. Like literally, they have done that. And they post them on their fridge. A year later, when I'm talking to them, they're saying that they still have my card on their fridge. And obviously, I'm not sending them a picture of myself unless it's like someone like Law, but I'm sending them a picture of something that matters to them, right? So, like for instance, I give you my mentor Jesse Itzler and his wife Sarah Blakely. I send them something that matters to them, not a whole bunch of pictures of myself because they could care less. Paul, right? Paul is saying, I love your card. I would love for you to show it, Paul. So one way is, the first way, you want to buy the 10 card challenge and start sending your cards immediately. Then, because the sooner you get the amount, the sooner you get the response. Second, you are going to follow, for those of you that are daily pay, you're going to follow the daily pay blueprint with content marketing and email marketing. Number 3 is that you're going to build with the Alex Hormozi, which is 100 days to 100,000. And most people, one second, thank you, Sean. I'll get to you. Well, you know what? I'll get on the Sean, and then you go first.
Okay, so quick question. You're showing cards. Is there a way you can send us a couple cards to each one of us so that we have something to show in our videos? Like, hey, this is my mentor. These are the type of cards that you can send out. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And second question is,
I love you, Sean. Why don't you show the ones that I've sent you?
I don't know where they are.
Okay.
Second question is, do you have anything that you're already sending out with some verbiage on it about joining the 10 card challenge?
Yes, I already have some of that, and I'll send that to you. So basically, what I do is that I have videos, and if any of you go to my TikTok or my YouTube, you're gonna find the videos that I do. I promote 3 things. I promote the 100 days to 100,000 with Alex Hormozi, because I have a whole email sequence that goes with that. Number 2, I hold accountability about my 100 days and how much money I've made. Because right now, I know people are mocking me. I know people are saying, she's making what, $200? She made what, $310? But when you see it multiply, because of how it works, then you'll see it. And then number 3, I'm talking to the avatar, the one avatar that I'm going after. So like, for instance, Jeremy, who are you going after? Who are you helping? Who is the avatar that you're helping, Jeremy?
The working dad.
So he's helping working dads. I'm helping people that want to make money online, right? I could focus on people that want to send cards, but that's not the people that is my avatar. For you, Sean, it would be the working dad as well. You know, the working man, you know, because you work like a crazy man. I mean, I don't think I know anyone harder working than you. I mean, and you're wildly successful in everything you do. So it's not because of lack of money or lack of success. It's because you want to get, you know, like for instance, Paul is also here. Paul is a successful businessman, but his body saying, dude, you need to freaking give me a break, right? So there's some people that are here that you may not need the money and you may not need the success, but you need to have the physical freedom of your body to be able to give your body a rest. So we're following. So yes, if each one of you DM me or mail or email or text me your mailing address, some of you have already gotten some of my cards, I will send you the cards. And then in our private Facebook group, I will drop some of the words that I say. But Sean, most of what I do is via, so this is why my open rate on an email, right? My open, and for those of you who are daily pay, you know this. Our open rate on an email is between 20 to 50% on an email. This is why. It's not by chance that our open rate is so high. My company, the company, Send Out Cards Promptings Company, the open rate for them is 11%, and they have been around for almost 20 years. But my open rate is between 20 to 50%, to over 50%. Why? Because when people come to me, it's because they watch my content, they consume my content, and they've gone to several channels and continue to produce in my content. They have messaged me. So they built a relationship with me already without them realizing it. So by the time they get to my email, it's something that they were like wanting to get. So that's why the open rate is so high. And then because I also give them a lot of free information, a lot of free gifting that they would not have otherwise without me bringing it to them, then they also they have this like, I wonder what she's going to give me next. So the open rate is also phenomenal when it comes to that. So that's a great question, Sean. So one, yes, I will send you a card as to what, because my new commitment is to send 10 cards a day, because that's what my mentor Jesse Itzler did when he was handwritten, going to the post office and everything. So if it worked for him, why wouldn't it work for me, especially if that's what I do for a living? Yes, Sean.
And there's a way to upload your handwriting to it as well.
There
right?
is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just have to do each letter, and then it'll actually look like it's handwritten by you.
No, I don't know about that one. It's actually simpler. You actually write it, you take a screenshot, and you post, and you actually
okay,
put it on
I get it. Okay,
so so there's another app that you can do that. This one, we do it simpler. You just simply write what you want to write, take a screenshot, and then post it inside as an actual picture. And it's but if you actually use the fonts, it's actually, psychologically speaking, people think that you wrote it, even though they know that you didn't. And then the last thing is we're using the 100 days to 100,000, and you just so let me explain the 100 days to 100,000. So the way that it works is that you would do 100 consecutive days for 100 consecutive minutes for consecutive time. If you lapse any of those days or any of those minutes, you start again. Because the way that this system works is that it works by the compound of each time, because each time that you compress to 100 minutes or 100 days, your success and your what's the word that I'm looking for? The way that you see things change. The way that you're able to have more access to things in your mind, they change, and you get better at what you're doing. And when you have a community that supports you and holds you accountable, you actually, your success rate, as long as you check in on a daily basis, your success rate is a proven thing. If you're doing the work, right? If you just check in and you're doing nothing, nothing's going to happen. But if you're doing the work and you check in daily, your success rate goes to 95%. 95%. So what I plugged in so many incredible things that even the company itself, the company that they're not going to Jordan to ask Jordan, how are you doing this? The company is going to me, and people in the company that have been around for years, they're coming to me and asking me, what are you doing? Because right now I'm the number one in the company.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan did say that 50% of the people that we sign up on the 10 card challenge will continue on.
Yes, and there's a caveat to that. If you it's just like, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you do nothing, you're gonna get broken up with, unless you're like paying them, right? But if you maintain the relationship with the people, even if the people don't use it, right? But as long as you're checking in with them, like I have two very successful business owners that they haven't touched their cards, but because I'm checking in on them, they know that they're not going to be left behind, so they're going to continue to the next level. So as long as you maintain the relationship, and you, what is the word, Sean, when you do customer service? You service the relationship. Then yes, we get a 50% success rate of people upgrading. So that's why it's passive and residual, because not only are you getting a $10 deal, more than likely you're going to upgrade to another 10 and then to another 20. So very quickly you could go from $200 to $400 to $600 to $1,000. Because, and then when the holidays come, it goes wild, because people are not only, so I have one of my attorney friends that he not only sends a card, but he also sends brownies, and you get money on all of that. And we don't just have janky gifts. We have Joe Malone. We have a lot, we have a lot of things that people are looking for, and people would buy through Amazon or at the store.
And I know you have several groups, but is there a group just for customers that we can send to that shows them how to create the card, how to, because it is a little technical, right? So
yes,
do we have
so we do have all of that in our back office that teaches people how to do that, and then we do have send out cards promptings groups that have a lot of that, but the back office is the one that people would learn how to do all of that. So you have the promptings app, and then also and they come, I believe they should come together. I don't know, because I've never just been a customer, so I don't know if you don't get it, but that's not a hard thing to do, to have access to that. That's a great question. Any other questions? Jeremy, you have a question?
No, but I'm thinking about sending myself some brownies now, so I'm curious to how they taste.
I actually have a lot of people that have done that. They've actually sent themselves the brownies. There's a few of the products that they have actually sent to themselves, so that they could actually see how they arrive, what they look like, what they sound like, and then what they taste like.
Yeah, because so far the cards are awesome.
Yeah, and you received one of my cards, right, Jeremy?
Yes, I received one from you and one from Jack.
Yay! Awesome. Okay. Any other questions from anybody else? No questions? Let me make sure that I get everybody. How do we update the back of the card with our QR code? Okay, that's a great question. So the back of the card, everybody, what you do is that you want to just call send out cards. Send out cards, the phone number. When you got your welcome email, you receive the phone number for send out cards. If you don't have it, just text me or DM me, and I'll send you the number. And then you just put whatever you want, because, like, for instance, everybody has, for me, I switch it up, because it depends who I'm sending it to, right? If I'm sending it to someone like Jesse Itler, I'm not gonna put a big thing up on the back. Someone like this, Patricia, she is an attorney. She wanted to make sure that people knew what she looked like and her logo as to what. This one is a little bit too, I do understand that this is a little bit too on your face. I don't like that my picture is like covering the majority of it. But listen, you can send a card like that, or you can have a card. Where is my other card?
And to help answer her question as well, I'm pretty sure that canva.com also has where you can put your website on there, and it'll generate the QR code, and then just save that as a JPEG image and then upload it to the card.
Yes, exactly. So to what Sean is saying, yes, a lot of the things that I create, so I create this stuff in Canva, and then I transfer it as a picture, and then I insert it in how it is. And this is the same way that, like this, which one? Give me 1 second. One of my girlfriends. So this one, I think Jorn also did this one on Canva, if I remember correctly, but there's one that I really like about so this one, right? This one is not a send out cards, but it has all this information marketing for somebody else. So why would you send a card to market somebody else when you can actually market yourself? Go ahead, Les. You're muted, honey. You're muted. You're still muted. Here, let me help you. You're still muted.
Right now.
There you are. We hear you now.
Okay. I guess I'm a little confused. I'm old school and old. I did network marketing, MLMs for 3 different companies back in the mid 90s, and was mentored. I was doing 400 to 500 phone calls a day, 7 days a week. And that's what it took for me to become one of the top producers. I'm not understanding who we send these cards to.
Okay, so that was the things that we were asking Jordan earlier. So the cards, you're just going to be a human when sending cards. That's the simplest way that I can explain it to you. You're going to send cards because I want to send a card to Sean. I want to send a card to Jeremy because his sister just passed away. I want to send a card to Robert because he's my friend. I want to send a card to Jonathan because he's been sick. I want to send a card to Nora because I just feel like it, right? You're just going to be a human and send cards for the sake of sending cards because it's the right thing to do. No other reason. Now, you can also send cards the way that one of my friends send cards. She sends cards because she is hoping that there's going to be something fruitful coming out of it. So she actually sends cards to businesses. So she actually looks at businesses that have a heart feeling for her, and then she sends them just a heartfelt card. But like Jordan was saying, and what I'm reinstating is that you want to send cards for the sake of sending cards. Obviously, don't send cards to a homeless person. Send cards to someone that could actually afford to send cards. But you're not sending cards so that people can start buying from you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I understand that part of it. The other question I have kind of on the same line is, okay, if I have customers right now that I work with online, like small business owners, okay, I help get them to the first page of Google and on the Google Maps position and all that kind of stuff. So I would send cards to them, trying to get them to use the service to send cards to their customers, correct?
No. So you never
No.
want to send that is like a very heavy weight. If you send a card with the intention that somebody is going to just buy because you send them a card, that card is going to lose the effectiveness that it's supposed to have, because now it's become a marketing piece of paper versus an actual greeting card, right? So you're going to send a card because, hey, client, hey, Craig, thank you so much because you always make me laugh, and you're always going to call it straight. And you're going to say a lot of things that I don't want to hear. I send it to him just because it's the right thing to do, because I got prompted to do that. Now, Craig more than likely will want to do business with me because he likes me because I'm adorable. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you don't want to send and I only tell you this because Sean and I did this the first time I was doing send that cards, and we were sending cards with the intention that we were going to get business back. It doesn't work that way because you're putting too much weight on a card. Now you can call the people and you can say, hey, client, I have this. You have to be intentional about the purpose of why you're doing it. So the card itself has to go ahead.
He could probably send a card saying thank you for doing business with us, just as like a Halloween, as a holiday type card. Thank you for doing business, and then have a QR code in the back or some information about himself and what he's doing with cards in the back. But the main purpose would be to actually send the card as a thank you, as a you're being appreciative, correct?
Right. But
that's what I was.
But here's Les, what I want to make really sure that it's clear. The card itself is not going to do the talking for you. So I had to literally call Craig and talk to him about this. I had to literally talk to Diana, whether I did it via, and with you, I had to go via back and forth on Messenger. So I didn't just send you a card hoping that you were going to magically say, oh yes, I want to do what Maria does. You actually have to be, there's two reasons for why you reach out to somebody. One, to just send them a card because it's the right thing to do. If they're your client, you should send them a card just because you're grateful for being a client. And then you want to make a call or an email or a text. There's some of here that just came here because they were getting my emails. So there's several reasons there's two reasons. One, because you want to do business with them. You want to be direct about that. And then second, you want to send cards just because it's the right thing to do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think you misunderstood. I've already got the clients that love me to death because I bring them leads. They pay me for leads every month, and if they pay me $1,000 a month, they make anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 off the leads I send them. I was wanting to send them a card saying thank you, but then also follow up with them and saying, if you want to add another way to increase your sales to your current customers, and then go into the card program.
So you want to
Not
sell
do that
your clients on an upsell for them to send cards for you.
They're already clients, they're happy. I'm gonna send them a card saying thank you, and then we talk every month. So when I'm talking to them on the phone, say, did you get the card I sent you? And they say, yeah. And say, you know, there's a system you can use to send cards to your customers.
Yes,
So that,
but it's still, Melissa, it still holds the same truth, whether it's for you or for Craig or for Diana. The card themselves, they have to hold that you're sending a heartfelt message, even if it's a marketing message. Even like, for instance, the person that was here earlier with the successful business, he's going to send a thank you card to all of his members, but not necessarily to market to get more business. So your current clients that adore you, it should be a slam dunk. So like, let's say you have 1,000 clients and you say, hey, try this for 20 days because it'll give you more business. Not because the card itself is going to give you more business, because when you appreciate, whatever you appreciate, appreciates. Does that make sense?
right. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. You don't use the card to sell them. You use the card to show appreciation, but down the road, it opens the door for a possibility of an add-on.
Right, or you can just be direct. Like I was direct with every one of you, right? I was direct with Craig, I was direct with Sean, I was direct with Mel, with Liz, with Nora, with Paul, with Jonathan, you know, with every single one of you. I was very direct as to what my intention is. So you can do both. You can send the card and also say, by the way, I'm also selling them. Would you try out as a favor the 10-card challenge? So you can still do both. Jonathan, do you have a question?
I'm good.
Jonathan? Okay, I'm assuming you don't. Les, anything else?
I'm good.
Okay,
And
perfect.
just to recap, Maria, you know, I think, yeah, why wouldn't he talk to his customer that has a long list of people that, and just like Jordan was saying, maybe they can create campaign cards, you know, just following up with their customers, and then he would get, you know, this gentleman here would get paid on those campaign cards. I think that's what he was trying to get to. Correct?
Yes. So yes, absolutely. So yes, if you want to create additional income stream, it still has to be that they still have to use it as a appreciating their clients or acknowledging their clients, or you know, the purpose of a card.
And by that company he's working with, sending out cards to their customers would build more of a connection to them, which basically that customer will continue to do business with that company. So I think that would definitely work.
Yes, absolutely works. And then Mel is saying, send personal cards to friends, family, acquaintances to show care, not to market. Yes, that's that. So you can still market. So you gently market on the back. So you can still market on the back, but it's a gentle market, and it's not. I mean, trust me, Sean and I, we send hundreds of cards the first time we did this months ago, because we really thought that if we sent enough cards, people would just automatically say, hey, I got your card, I want to do this. It doesn't work that way. And that's why I'm so adamant to make sure that people understand that the purpose of the card is one thing, and then our business is another thing. Robert, you're on.
Yeah, I guess my question is kind of the same. When do you know when it's right to pull the trigger on, you know, you want to build a relationship, but at the same time you don't want to just keep on sending them card after card after card after card.
So you don't want to just send cards without a purpose. You want to send a card because you're listening to your prompting and your intuition. So for instance, when I heard that Jeremy had a loss, immediately I knew I had to send the card. Not because I wanted him to start sending more cards, but because I knew that it was the right thing to do. Now, have I sent him a card every week? No, because I didn't have the intuition to send him a card every week. I've sent Sean cards here and there, but he's also a married man. So with him, I have to be careful because he's a married man. With Craig, I send him cards when I feel a prompting to send him a card, right? So you follow your, I know it sounds kind of, what is it called? Theory, or what is it called? Airy? How do you say that in English? Like
I'm not sure.
it sounds like hokey pokey, right? Is that how you say it? Hokey pokey?
Oh,
Or
like
theoretically.
yeah, like woo woo.
Yes, like that one. It sounds like woo woo, but it really actually, if you just follow so you're not just going to send cards without a purpose, trying to get people. So if you know that someone could benefit from this, then you offer them the
I got a
service.
customer, Maria. I gotta go.
Bye. Thank you. Good to see you. So like for instance, right, Sean is wildly successful with that company that he's with. He's every single month, he's the #1 salesperson with that company. And then he goes home and then has another wildly successful business, but he's still trading time for money, right? So for him, he's looking at this. So he's going to be promoting on social media, because even though he's had very successful businesses, he doesn't actually have an email list. And so for him, he's going to have to build from scratch, because he has not built an email list, because he's been working with eBay, Amazon, and Etsy, and he doesn't get to keep any of those clients. But that's a great question, Robert. So the way that you would go about it is that because you have the blueprint, the daily blueprint, you would just post on social media, just like the blueprint teaches you. And then it's a slower process. And then you would actually follow the Alex Hormozi 100 days to 100,000, so that the way that the daily pay bills, and the way that the daily pay and also send that cards build is a slow process. But once it gets away from you, in the terms that you're making money. But it's very fruitful when it gets away from you. Craig, do you have a question?
Thank you.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Robert?
Yeah, it does.
By the way, it wasn't a dumb question. I'm sure a lot of people had that question. Yes, Les.
Okay, on the 100, the 100. Has anybody done that? 100 for 100
Yes.
days consistently, and then 100 days made 100? Are you saying 100,000 responses or $100,000?
No, so this was, and then I'll say, once you go into my funnel, you're going to get access to Alex Hormozi. This is not something that I came up with. This is something that Alex Hormozi has been doing for years, that he saw that once he put someone on the rule of 100, it's 100 days for 100 consecutive minutes. And then there's a whole system that I have in an email that I send you, that once you do that, you will actually, and for me, I actually toned it down quite a bit. I said, by December, if you do this, you more than likely, and now obviously I can't guarantee anything, but you're more than likely, you're going to be at $9,000 if you go to work the way that the program is designed. And if you implement the daily pay blueprint that all of us are talking about. So if you implement the Alex Hormozi, the daily pay, you send cards for the 10 card challenge, and then you implement everything else that I'm teaching you and coaching you and training you on, then you should be able to get to 9,000. But the way that the Alex Hormozi works is that what he has seen in the years that he's been doing this, and he's been pretty successful, is that he has seen that you get to $100,000 a month. Now we're doing a $10 commission challenge. Now Diana could get 100,000 because she sells high ticket deals with selling homes. So like, let's say Diana wanted to put all of her energy in selling homes, very likely she could end up at 100,000 a month by selling homes. But she's trying to get away from selling, like I could do that very easily with my daily pay business or my coaching practice, but I'm still trading time for money. So I rather get slower money and by December get to $9,000 passively and residually with a business in a company that is stable and that is going to continue with something that people need and are using. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's a great question, by the way, because a lot of people ask me that. They're like, well, what makes you think that people, it's like, I can't guarantee it, but this is what this gentleman has seen in all the years that he's trained many, hundreds of people. Yes. Anyone else have questions? Jeremy, yes.
Oh, I was just saying, focus on building the relationships, and the people that you build relationships will market for you.
Yeah. And this is what happens, and Jeremy has a good point. What happens is that the people that are actually going to brag about the stuff that you send them are not going to be the people that actually end up buying from you. They're actually just going to solidify what people do when you do the right thing. So they may, I have a cinematographer, very, very successful cinematographer that makes videos about the cards that I send him. He has not bought it, but I can promote that video that he's done because he's created it. I have people that I shared this one, he's another droner. He's a droner, and he posted about his dad passing away, and he did a whole spread on the card that I sent him. So never miss a sympathy card. That's the one thing I can tell you from a personal experience. And that's going to carry you. Never miss a sympathy, a celebration, a wedding, a baby shower, a reason for why congratulations. Those are moments that people don't take the time, and they will actually putting on, they'll putting on the mantle, or they'll put him on they'll put him on display, that you show up at their houses or their offices, and you're like, that's my card. Like that's what I sent you years ago. So it's very effective. Now, they may not be the ones that buy your product, but they're sending energy. I know it sounds weird, but they're sending energy, and that energy creates this. Jonathan can't speak about, I'm still being recorded, but Jonathan can't speak about this because I'm going to be showing that in our funnel. But Jordan makes over $1 million a year. Over $1 million helping people like me. And he didn't recruit me, by the way. I actually went to him because I knew that he was wildly successful. So you get to a point that people, the company has over 600 members, 600,000 members. They're coming to me and saying, what are you doing, Maria? There's 600,000 people that they don't know how to market. I do, right? So any other questions before we close off? Isn't there a 25 per day card limit? Yes, Mel, that's a great question. So yes, with the unlimited program, which is not, but listen, don't get distracted with the 37 or the 97 or the packages. The first thing you have to do, if you haven't done anything, is that you have to do the 10 card challenge. Send your 10 cards in the first 3 days, and then we can have a private discussion about the 95 or the 37 or the packages and everything else. And then don't forget to take home the bacon. So any other questions before we, and I want to say thank you to every one of you, because I know that I called you last minute, but I wanted to do this recording. And then Jordan says, well, if we're going to do this, we might as well invite some people. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't tell anybody. So I'm so grateful that every one of you showed up. But any other questions that I can answer for you, because there's no dumb question, by the way, no dumb question. Thank you for getting this. Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you for hosting. It's always my treat. So any other questions going once?
No.
Anna? No? Oh, I love that heart, Paul. Okay. Well, I'm going to release this into YouTube, like the full deal. And then I'm going to cut it and slice and then put it in. I am working on having a funnel for us who are daily payers people, who are content creators and email marketers and content marketers. So for those of us that have the daily pay blueprint, I am working on having a funnel. It's just right now I'm literally fighting for my livelihood. So I have to get myself stable the month of September. And then once I have September nailed, then I'll put a lot of time and effort into creating the funnel. So Diana, Jeremy, Jonathan has every one of you who has the blueprint, you'll be able to get obviously the funnel for free. So, okay, awesome. Can't wait for the funnel. Yes, it's going to be amazing. Okay, everybody, thank you again so very much. If there's any questions, if there's any concern, there's no dumb question. And just know that if you send a card, I know that it may not seem like a big deal, but the reaction that a person has when they actually open the card is a reaction that is going to be sent back to you into you having more success in whatever you do. So whether you're like Diana, that you're doing 1 of 4 businesses, or you're like Paul, like you're doing 1 of 2 businesses, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if you don't decide to do send out cards like I have, for me, the reason I've decided to send out cards is because it is the only business that has steadily paid me without having any kind of structure, without having any kind of team, without having anything. The only thing that I had was that I was paying $14 a month, and I wasn't even sending cards. I was paying $14 a month, and the company continued delivering checks, making deposits into my bank account without me lifting a finger. And to me, that's the power of residual income. That's the reason for people work so hard for decades for them to be able to have that kind of income at retirement age. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm here available. And then for those of you who have not gotten the 10-card challenge, make sure that you get it tonight, so that I can go ahead and get you into the private Facebook group, and I'll be shifting some things so that you can get more access and make this a lot easier. And obviously, by the way, I will be personally mentoring you if you decide to do this and make this as part of your living. So have an amazing Saturday. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you more than you think. Love you.
Bye, Maria. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, Robert. Love you.